And there we are, man. It's your boy, Eric, aka Young God, coming to you in the Green Dungeon, giving it to you real raw rugged. The Bonnet game's still strong. And I gotta like the Breakfast Club say, man, we got a special guest in the building. But I'm gonna let the brother man introduce himself. Who we got?
What up, what up, what up? World people, what up, man? You know what I'm saying? Your boy JP spoken over here in Florida, making it happen. We here, it's whatever. I'm chilling. Whatever you trying to do, however you trying to run this thing, let's do it.
Hey,
I'm
man.
ready.
So this month right now, I'm trying to interview nothing but Florida legends and 80s and 70s musicians. So
Yeah.
you fit in the Florida legend category. Would you call yourself a Florida legend?
You know what I'm saying? If that's what the people say, then that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like people should call themselves that unless the people call you that.
Have you ever been called a legend before?
Yeah, multiple times. I've been called the GOAT, all the other stuff. So I think it's time, I guess.
See, let me tell you why you a legend, because I don't even know if you're aware of it, but I'm pretty aware of it. You and Emmanuel Hudson brought back a word that was dying. Y'all brought back Ratchet 100%. That word was a thing, but nobody was saying Ratchet like that. After that, She Ratchet thing came out. Man, I'm talking about white people, grandmothers. Everybody was saying Ratchet. So did you realize y'all brought that back?
Well, okay, well, let me clarify. We did asking all them questions. He did Ratchet with his brother. He did the song. Yeah, I didn't do Ratchet.
I don't know why I'm thinking that was like all in one. I'm tripping.
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't do Ratchet. But you're not the only person though. You're not the only person that thought that or whatever. I've never done Ratchet. He did She Ratchet after asking all them questions, and that was some months later.
Really? I don't know why I'm thinking that's one thing, but okay.
Yeah. We did asking all them questions. You know what I'm saying, and that went from one thing to another. But as far as did I know that it was gonna do what it did? I mean, I knew the video was gonna blow up, but I didn't know that it was gonna cause a whole epidemic amongst people as far as their behavior and how they moving and changing. So it was good and it was also bad. You know what I'm saying? So but it's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Why was it bad?
I would say it was bad because more so of the direction that was displayed amongst young boys and girls at the time. At the time, it was around like 2011, 2012, and no one really had their own platform at the time. Mm-hmm. Everybody would just sit back and watch people like us. So when you have men who put on wigs or act a certain type of way, you have grown black men that act like a woman to try to get their point across in the name of comedy. That's when it became a problem because I started to see other people copying that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I never put on a wig, but you know what I'm saying, or nothing. But I played a huge part in it as far as what I allowed and what I brought around me. So it's no shade to Emmanuel or nothing like that. I absolutely appreciate it, brother. But the thing is, even he took a step back as far as how he was able to move throughout the years because he had a lot of harsh criticism over the years as far as people saying, hey, you're putting on a wig, you're putting on this and that plays into the parts of little boys and girls as they're growing up and they feel like that shit is okay. And it ain't okay. You know what I'm saying? We were just trying to call out the relationship issues and that just happened. The behavior was actually adopted by other people along the way growing up.
See, I don't know where to take. I could take this so many ways, but I'm gonna take it the Dave Chappelle route because I know Dave Chappelle got an infamous interview. We were just talking about Oprah a little bit. He got an infamous interview with Oprah where he's saying that every black comic blows up, they have to wear a wig. He was saying they came to him in his dressing room like, hey, we got this big idea, put on the wig. He was like, nah, I ain't with that. They really want to put it on, but he was just saying a lot of these black comics have to put on wigs or put on dresses to blow up. And you said that you never put on a wig or dress. Is that something that, are you on the Dave Chappelle side that you won't do it, or are you still open to put on like a dress and a wig for a movie?
I'm definitely on the Dave Chappelle side, 1,000%. I've never put on a wig, you know what I'm saying? But I just feel like I feel like we should leave that for black women. We should leave that for black women and let them come up. I feel like black men have been in entertainment for so long, and not to say that black women haven't been in entertainment, but let black women play their role. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let them play their role. Like, why do we have to show them how they are? They know who they are. You know what I'm saying? Get a funny black woman who can do that, and let that be that. So what you trying to say? A black woman can't play herself?
Yeah.
So I feel like, and black women played a role too. They played a role in accepting that shit, thinking that it was okay. And it took us a time. It took us time. It's still taking us a time, but it took us a while to get over that shit and realize, like, yo, this ain't the route we should be going, because it's just a detriment amongst our little boys and girls. So it's like, we shouldn't do that. So, and also too, let's just stop taking the money out of the black women's pockets. Let them come up. So that's how I felt about the whole thing. So it's way deeper than just the homosexual, the homosexual agenda. It was more so too of, hey man, let these sisters get paid, because they already having a hard time in a male predominant, in a male dominated area, field industry.
I think that's so prominent, like black dudes wearing dresses, because I realized, just not even in comedy or anything, but just in music. I see people, like more white people, they prefer a non-masculine, non-threatening black guy. Like, they want you to smile and cheese all the time, be happy. And when you're mad, they're like, oh man, like, calm it down. Because for example, I was watching wrestling the other day. This is one guy, he's always smiling. And I'm like, I feel like they tell him, like, hey man, don't be the intimidating black guy, give us some cheese. And I feel like what you're saying is, like, they basically want to strip you of your masculinity, because I feel like now in 2017, 2018, it's been a lot like, hey, you don't have to be masculine, which you don't. But I feel like they're forcing, like, not being masculine on men, when there's nothing wrong with that, because that's perfectly natural in our, in our body system. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just something I noticed.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you notice, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's an absolute fact. That's a part of the agenda. White people in general, and when I say white people, I'm not shitting on them. I'm just calling it out. Most white people feel more comfortable around black people who are demasculinized. However you say the word.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why is because they can control them. When you got a black man who fully knows who he is, who knows who he is, you can't really control him and put him in a position where he needs to be, because you're trying to do whatever you want to do and get whatever you get. So when you have a black man who's soft, you know what I'm saying, then he's going to probably be more open to saying yes to the things that you approve in your lifestyle, such as being gay, or such as, I don't know, going out here doing things like Jackass or MTV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they like that type of stuff because it's just all about control. When you got a man who fully knows who he is, it's a problem. And it's always going to be a problem. So this is why it's deeper than just comedy. It's deeper than just Hollywood. This is how they are against brothers in the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? Sisters in the Nation of Islam. Why is it that people these are the only group of black people in America, and they all over the world, the only group of black people in America who show their unity in a very solid form, and all of a sudden it's a problem. It's not the fact that they got on a suit. Well, it is the fact that they got on a suit. The problem with the whole thing is, why is it such a problem that I'm only supporting my people and only want to uplift my people, but it's a problem with you? And they think that, and then they want to decorate it such as black identity extremists. So it goes way, way deep. You know what I'm saying? It goes way, way deep, and that's just what it is.
Quick question. Since you bring up the Nation of Islam and a group that's coming up in my head right now, two groups actually. Just your opinion on like the whole Black Lives Matter group, because I want to preference what I think about it. I want to see what's your opinion on it. That's cool.
First off, I'm going to say I support all my brothers and sisters,
Okay.
but I do not support Black Lives Matters.
Let me tell you why I kind of on that wavelength real quick. So basically, my whole idea of it, I think the idea of it is great. Just basically out and out racism and trying to get just for black people and all. I think that's great, but I think that it became to a point where it got stagnant, and to the point where it should have elevated to something else. For example, the Black Panthers, I'm more of that route. Like, the Black Panthers, they was doing the same thing, but they was also in the hood squashing beef, and they was giving free breakfast out and stuff. I feel like not only were they focusing on the racism, they were also like, hey, we got to focus on us too. We can't be in gangs. They doing stuff in the hood and stuff. I don't see Black Lives Matter doing it. I just see them focusing on one thing, which is great, but I feel like they need to because I feel like a lot of them don't come from that life. I feel like a lot of them like nerds and like on the internet, and they're like, oh yeah, we need to do this right here, but they don't actually have to experience their cousins dying because of gang relations, so they're not really worried about that. That's not the trend. So I don't know, that's just how I feel.
Nah, bro, you're right. You're absolutely right. Black Lives Matter was started by a group of gay black women. It's funded by white people. That's a fact. They know this. They can pull my card all they want. They know this is a fact. Yes, it was started by black women. They will tell you this. It was started by black women in the LGBTQ community. Well, hold on. The LGBTQ community is owned by white people too. Yeah. In the LGBTQ community, they don't support black people. You know what I'm saying? Not collectively as a whole. So you have a bunch of black people that come out saying, oh, LGBTQ, it's all about gay lives, gay rights. Okay, cool. Much power to you. But what I'm saying is, how come they don't support your black ass when you getting beat up by the police? How come they don't support your gay black ass when you getting beat up by the police? That's step number one. Now, as far as Black Lives Matter, now you got people from the LGBTQ community starting a group that's supposed to be for the betterment of black people. Okay, Black Lives Matter. Cool. We'll take that. Just like you said, when it came to our brothers and sisters, in the help of need, when we really needed them, we don't need people to speak up no more. Yeah. We got enough people that talk. The thing is, we need people that do. So if this is an organization that collects money, where's the money being distributed to? You know what I'm saying? To help us. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Black Lives Matter out here paying for nobody's funerals like that. And if they are, they probably did a couple 1 or 2 or a couple 5 or 6s because they can write it off as taxes. Let's get that out the way. Paying for funerals means paying for taxes, which is all right. And you know what I'm saying? Black Lives Matter, truth be told, a lot of these people, they ain't doing, they are people from Twitter. There are people from Instagram who just started tweeting and stuff like that, and then they formed their own little group, and that's what it was. The problem is that you have a bunch of heterosexual black people and a bunch of gay black people, and they're all divided. That's the divide and conquer within itself. So the whole thing is, what people don't understand is they don't understand family business. Regardless if you gay, regardless if you're Christian, regardless if you're Muslim, regardless if you're Buddhist, regardless if you're a Pope, we should be focused on family business first, meaning this. Black skin comes first before you're gay. Black skins come first before you're a woman. Black skins come first before you're a man. And when you put that out there and say, oh, but I'm for my black people too, but I'm also for the LGBTQ and I'm for Black Lives. Okay. You can have it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I can guarantee when your card get pulled, they won't come out here and support you. And another thing, that's how Black Lives Matter got their card pulled. It was a guy who passed away 2 years ago. He didn't even pass away. He got killed. He was murdered. He was assassinated. It was a brother in right over there where Mike Brown was.
Ferguson?
Yeah, it was in Ferguson. I forgot it. Darren Shields, or Darren Shields, or something like that. He was the guy. He was the brother with dreads. He was at all the meetings, all the downtown office meetings or whatever on behalf of black folks, trying to see, how we can unify our people. And he was one of the first people to call out Black Lives Matter because he was actually in the trenches of all the stuff that was going down. So when Black Lives Matter came out of nowhere, everybody was like, what is this? We don't understand where these people are coming from. That was the red flag right there. The second red flag is when a lot of the brothers and sisters who's in the community, when they started being amongst all the other people in the LGBTQ community who happen to represent Black Lives Matter, they started seeing how these people were eating off of Black Lives Matter, collecting all the money, but they didn't see the money going nowhere else. So that's when the red flag kind of started rising up amongst him and other people. He was one of the main front soldiers. He was so much of a threat to society and to the government that they pulled him over a couple weeks or a couple months before he was killed. They pulled him over, and the police officer told him, you might want to pick your enemies wisely. He said this on camera. He said you might want to pick your enemies wisely because he put up a picture of Trump on his Facebook. Now let's get that out the way. Now he recorded it. He had his little brother in the passenger side of the car in his Jeep. They pulled him and his brother out the car. They handcuffed both of them, and they did that to send him a message like, that's just warning number one, nigga. So what happened a couple weeks or 3 later, he ended up going to his Jeep, the same Jeep. He opened the car door Jeep, shut the door, boom. The whole thing blew up, and they shot him while he was at it too. So while he was burning up and blown up in the car, they killed this man and shot him while he was burning. So that rises, and he also had a problem with D-Ray, who happened to represent on behalf of Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? D-Ray McLessons or whatever his name is, or whatever. So, and also too, I saw something today. I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. D-Ray McLesson, whatever his name is, I don't know what his name is, but D-Ray, he put up a picture today, and I'm not the one to try to count and look at other people's pockets, but I'm only saying this because he brought it up. He put up a picture today or yesterday of him having veneers in his mouth. You know, veneers are the final phase of teeth, fake teeth that they put in your grill, and it'll never fade away. It'll never decay. So he took a picture saying 50,000 in my mouth. Okay, where did that 50,000 come from?
He said 50,000 in my mouth.
50,000 in my mouth.
That's like a Young Thug bar. That's crazy.
He said 50,000 in my mouth, and we're all looking at you like, okay, we know what you do for a living, but so what? You got your grill fixed. People get their grill fixed every day, B. But the thing is, why you got to say 50,000 in my mouth, though? And that's the problem right there. For what you represent, you're putting out the wrong thing. And if you are representing right for the people, you shouldn't be talking about how much money is going inside of your mouth. For what? For what? So, yeah, that's where we at, bro.
So yeah, we share the same sentiment. And the crazy thing about it, also people who I feel like should be helping and not helping, is the churches, is the pastors, is the black pastors, because I feel like they're the ones, they have the youth and they have the old people. And I was looking at a Dr. Umar Johnson interview on the Breakfast Club, and he said some reason why they don't help. I can't remember off the top of my head. He was saying they're being paid by somebody. I forget what he said, but he gave some answer, and I just want to know what's your take on that, because I feel like they don't do enough, to be honest with you, at all.
Well, you're right. The black churches, they don't do enough. I'm not going to say some church. I'm not going to say all churches don't do anything.
Yeah, not all.
Yeah, I'm not going to say all, but I don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who they are. I don't know where they at. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in church my whole life. I was brought up a Christian. You know what I'm saying? I was a part of all the programs. You know what I'm saying? First program, second program, I was the usher. I did all that shit. Counted the money in the church. I've seen the deacons and the pastor stand over me as I was counting the money. I've seen it all. You know what I'm saying? I even seen the preacher and the deacon fight in church. I even seen people get taken out and arrested in church for child support.
Crazy.
So the church, in most cases, they don't really help black people in general. The reason why, and here's a real big reason why, is because church is supposed to be church. Think about this. Now, they have black churches, they have white churches. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If this is supposed to be church, if this is supposed to be all for one and one for all, then that means anybody should be able to go to the church. That means I should be able to walk in a white church and nobody look at me crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't belong here. Mm-hmm. And a white person should be able to go to a black church without looking like, goddamn, it's a white person up in here. Yeah. First of all, why do we even have that mentality if it's supposed to be underneath God and supposed to be all for love? So this is how you know right away it's racism operating within itself. Divide and conquer is happening right before your eyes and you don't even know it. But you have to step outside of your comfort zone in order to realize that. That's where that number one problem is coming from. Another thing about that is the churches, you know, they don't really, Christianity within itself, yeah, it was parts of Christianity in Ethiopia, but it was remade by white supremacists, and before we could even read the Bible, we couldn't read that motherfucker for 300 years. 300 years we were prohibited to read. So why is it that we weren't able to read for 300 whole years, and the first book you ever gave us was the doggone Bible? So then when we were able to read the Bible, we still couldn't read anything else, and that took some time. And then when we finally called on, that's when they were like, all right, cool. You niggas get your church over here, we're gonna get our church over there. Y'all figure it out, but it is what it is. So now, let's just say a little boy who was brought up as a Christian, he becomes a pastor. He believes everything, he believes that Jesus is the sun, the moon, the light, and the Holy Ghost. He believes all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So he's carrying that same ideology until his adulthood, spreading that amongst the people, because if you go against Christianity as a pastor, if you go against Christianity and you challenge it, then there's a problem. You're going to lose people and you're going to lose money. Church is all about money. That's what it's about at the end of the day. It's all about that good old dollar bill, y'all.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I just want to quickly touch on that real quick. My mom did like a little experiment where she was calling churches and asking them a question. It was one church she called, and she was like, I really need to talk to your preacher. Is he in? And the lady was like, yeah. And she was like, I need to talk to him. It's really important. And she was like, are you a member of the church? My mom said no. And the lady hung up in her face. And my mom was like, she could have been a cancer patient, she could have been suicidal, and like lady just hanging up in her face. So it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's political. Church is political, full of politics, and it's all about money, the dollar bill. And if you really want to see who is really about that life, if church wasn't about the money, only the people would show up. And it wouldn't be nobody in that goddamn pulpit. Nobody. Not even the deacons will hardly be there. You know what I'm saying? And some of the church members, the active members in the congregation, they probably won't be there too, because they got their hand in that shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, that's how it all works out. And, these churches, church isn't supposed to divide. They aren't supposed to cater to one group. So this is why you don't hear about churches supporting just black people themselves. So why is it that a church can't say, oh, we're going to support, the black families over here? Because if they say that, it might be someone else in that room, in that church, that'll say, but aren't you supposed to be supporting everybody? God loves everybody. You know what I'm saying? So a church can't single one group out. They have to support all, which is why you'll never hear a pastor speak on racism. Ever. I've never heard. You ever hear about pastors speak on racism?
Never heard a pastor talk about racism.
Never, because if they do, it's going to divide the church. It's going to take money out of their pocket. You know what I'm saying? I feel like true pastors will talk about it, and the realest pastors have the smallest churches. If you ask me, I feel like the realest churches are the small churches, not the big ones. The realest churches are the small ones, man, because they gonna really let it be known, and they don't care about losing members because they ain't got none anyway. So that's that.
That's a fact. I had to touch on this real quick. I haven't seen you on my timeline in years, and you popped up on my timelines when the Kanika Jenkins thing happened. And I think you said something that made me think, because I was one of them niggas. I was like, man, y'all niggas talking about this like the police do their research. But you was like, y'all shaming other black people for trying to find a black family, like a homicide. They trying to help like another black family. Why would you shame other black people for trying to help black people? And you made me think, and I was like, that's actually a very, very like intelligent way to look at that. So I feel like you probably had backlash from that, from the people that was like, man, shut up, man, stay in the comment. Did you have any backlash for you saying that?
Nah, man. I didn't really have that much of a backlash. That's one thing what I can say about my career, my life. I've never had too many people come up to me saying you full of shit. Because I think most people know I mean well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think most people know, it's not even about the fame. You know what I'm saying? If it was really about the fame, I think people would be seeing me in more movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, At the end of the day, I came into this game being myself. I started off in an apartment, talking shit in front of a camera. I was that homie up the street that just blew up, and Hollywood came to me. That's how my life played out. I didn't go knocking on Hollywood door. They came to me. So let's just get that out the way. So therefore, people can respect that to a certain degree and say, you know what? He came in, he held his own tools, and he's still holding his own tools. So let's just listen to the brother. So I don't deal with that. But, the whole Kanika Jenkins thing, um, that right there, man. When that came about, you started seeing people do their own investigation. They started saying, "Hey, the shoe too small. She too big in the camera. You know, she too skinny. I heard this. I heard that." And then you seen a lot of black people saying, "Y'all not the police. Y'all not the Fed. Leave it to them." When we leave it to them, they'll never do shit.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you know what I'm saying? Like all these cases over the years that they swept underneath the rug, that they swept underneath the rug, that they let all these police officers walk. You know what I'm saying? Look, we are in a war. We are not in a little mini WWE wrestling match. We are in a dead ass war, which means it works through sex, religion, politics, war. You know, education. It works through all different type entertainment. It works in all those fields and religion. So when you got all those different categories, just realize that racism plays a role in all that stuff. So when you got black people coming out saying, "Oh, y'all niggas need to stop doing all that. Y'all swear y'all know everything." That ain't nothing but a crab in the bucket mentality. That's crab in the bucket all the way. Because finally, when you got black people for the first time ever, I've never seen black people ever online try to solve a murder case together.
That was crazy.
I've never seen that shit ever until last year. I ain't never seen it. And I've been on the internet for a long goddamn time. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen black people collectively say, "Hey, let's try to figure this out." So the one time we try to figure something out, we need to shut the fuck up. It just don't make sense to me, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's an illness, it's a disease, and it's cancerous. Cancer ain't nothing but a disease, it ain't nothing but an illness. And a lot of times we have to check ourselves. We need to check ourselves and check our brothers and our sisters and let them know, like, "Hey, man, let us just leave us alone. If we mean well, leave us alone." You know what I'm saying? This is why I say I don't shit on my gay brothers and sisters, because if they mean well at the end of the day, then cool. Just don't put your sexual preference in front of our issues, or any preference in front of the main issue. It doesn't matter if it's just that. That was just an example. So the whole Kanika Jenkins thing, that was just one part of it. So that was just a crab in the bucket mentality.
Hey, before we go any further, I just want to say shout out Kim Bishop. That's one of my homeboys. He's gonna love this interview because you want some real black power shit. He be on that same exact stuff you saying. So shout out to Kim. He gonna love this. But before we get out of here, because I don't want to keep you too long. Going back to the beginning of your career, you was one of the first, in my recollection, you was one of the first like big black YouTubers. I don't know if you were probably like the biggest at the time, but I know you were one of the biggest and like one of the first ones to do it. And a lot of people that was going on YouTube, still kind of YouTube is dominated by white people, but when you went on YouTube back then, you was one of the people that you was go to. Other people, it was a lot of Florida people actually, but you was one of the big people in Florida that everybody would go to, and you were black. So was that something like you thought about when you started, like, I need to get like black people some entertainment, because there was a lot of white people, you know, doing internet like comedy on YouTube?
I plotted everything, bro. I plotted the whole thing. It was already thought out. Well, one, I didn't choose my career. My career chose me. Let's put that out there. Like I said, I was just chilling in the house. I was a poet before anything. That's why my name is Spoken Reason. I was doing spoken word.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get my message across, but you know, when you speak serious all the time, a lot of times it can't really be received well by people who are in the slump. You know what I'm saying, on the bottom. And a lot of times people need that comedic, ability to be able to bring out everything they need to bring out to receive, you know, what you're trying to give them. And it was all plotted out. When I first got on YouTube, I started getting on there around like 05, 06. And there were no niggas on there at the time, no black people. And, I started watching a couple. It was black people before me now. Don't get it twisted. It was a whole 2008 generation that people don't know about. Shout out to David Spade. Shout out to Kevin Kraft. Shout out to Ace of the Comet. A few other people, you know what I'm saying? But they never hit that million mark and never really like took off. And it was all plotted. And what's so crazy is I'm starting to see the fruits from my labor, because all I wanted to do was get on, spread a message, and hope that people, especially black people, pick up from my blueprint and do whatever they do with it. I didn't know stuff was going to happen with Instagram. I didn't know Vine was going to come out. But I did know that something was going to happen. I knew that YouTube wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? I knew that it was going to be an easier way to make it happen, because it was way too hard at the time. You know what I'm saying? YouTube ain't easy, man. Like, people don't understand. I was setting up my own camera, editing my own videos. I was doing all that stuff, and a lot of stuff I was doing at that quality, people aren't doing today. Let's just get that out the way. So when you give people their phones and you give people buying an Instagram and they get 15 free seconds to put out there in the world what they can do and advertise their talent and their gifts, then that's just a free lick. So they looked at it and said, oh man, I got a way out. That's what I plotted. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I did know that was going to happen. So I'm glad to see the game eating. There are people who I work with, they're good now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Chloe and Haley. They're managed by the two little girls or whatever. They're grown now, damn near. The two little girls or whatever. We did Holy Cookies on YouTube. They're managed by Beyonce now. You got Emmanuel. He's on Wildin' Out doing his thing, been in a movie or two. You got my girl Jazzy, who was in all my videos. Jasmine, she was on 50 Central. She's out here doing her thing on Instagram. She found her way. She didn't get on YouTube and blow up. Chloe and Haley, they did their own little thing, and everybody used it the way they could. So I'm here to pass the ball. I'm here to lob. That's what I'm cool. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to stand in front of every little play and hog all the shit to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I'm here for. And I'm just glad to see my people eating. So it's a little messy right now. Don't get it twisted. It's a little messy, but that's a part of the game. You know what I'm saying? When you have a new playing field, you have a new blueprint out there, a new platform, you got to allow people to make mistakes for a couple years or 3 or 4 or 5 so we can know how to come together. This is why I feel like this is the crucial year for a lot of people, especially black folks in 2018, because when I got on the internet, I got on there in 2008. I started my YouTube channel in 2008. I blew up around 2011, 2012. The movie came out in 2013, and I did Real Husband Hollywood around 14 and 15. Now, Vine started taking off around 2013. Instagram started taking off around 2013 as well, but they didn't start having videos until probably around like mid 2013 or whatever. Then they added the chop edits in there. At one point, you could only record straight through on Vine and Instagram. Then they added the chop edits in there, and I'm like, damn, I wonder where the hell they got that from. Not saying anything. So I feel like now people have had enough time in the game to grab their money, see who's there for them, see who's not there for them. With all this racism and stuff going on, this Trump stuff, it brought us all together. So it ain't new to us no more. The game ain't new. Everybody know how we should all move. Everybody handing out L's. They handing out L's when you fuck up. Hell, we know how to move. We know what you should and you shouldn't say, and what you should and what you shouldn't do. So with that being said, if it's 2018, this is pull your card season. You know what I'm saying? This is pull your card season. This is the season now where we're gonna weed out all the people who just don't belong here. Not to say that they can't have a platform and they can't get paid, but if you're bad for the community and you're bad for the people, you're gonna be on the left and we're gonna be over here. This is where we're at right now, and we got to figure that out before 2020 gets here, because when 2020 gets here, it's going to be a whole new epidemic, because everybody's going to be on this new drug of 2020, can't wait for shit to be clear.
Yeah. That's going to be terrible. But
everybody's going to be on it. If everybody's acting like this in 2018, look, get ready now. I'm telling everybody, black, white, green, purple, blue, get ready now. If you ain't trying to get ready now, you're going to miss that wave in 2020, especially if you're 16 and up. If you're 16 and up and you miss this wave, 2018, 2019, and you don't prepare for 2020, watch and see how these kids come up and how they react around that time, because there's a bunch of little kids too that's watching, just like how you were watching me back then. So they got a chance to really see how the game is supposed to go, and they're going to come in more conscious. They're going to come in, you know how to maneuver, and we made those mistakes for them. This is our era where we make the mistakes, and we have to. Our biggest job is to learn how to maintain and make it over. It ain't hard. It ain't hard to get in the game. It's hard to stay in it. The reason why it's hard to stay in it is because everybody's trying to figure out who they are. They're trying to figure out who they are, who's around them, and they want to make sure that the people that they following are holding up to the things that they're supposed to be doing and saying. So with all that there, if you got the kids watching us in a long run, when it's their time to go, they gonna be like, we ain't got time for you old niggas. I respect this nigga. I don't respect this person.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You a coon. This person right here is a coon. Coon wasn't even talked about 3 years ago. Now everybody know what a coon is.
Hey, my homeboy made a good point. Shout out to Amp. He said that because I was saying that I think people use words so much like coons, Uncle Tom, that the word's gonna be devalued. It's not gonna mean anything. He was like, it was once upon a time where you would hear the word coon one time a year. Now you hear coon every day. So that's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah, there was a time when white people used coon more than we did.
Yeah.
I got a video online. I don't know. I forgot what it's called, but I forgot what it's called, but I figured out. It's featuring my dude Billy Sorrell, but it was me wearing a coon suit. We got fired, and we ended up fighting outside, and these white people saw us fighting through the blind. And then the white daughter asked the dad, "Hey, what's going on outside?" And the dude said, "Oh, there's nothing but a couple of coons going at it." That's what they used to call us. You know what I'm saying? We took that word and we flipped it like nigga.
Yeah, pretty much.
We flipped it like nigga. Coon basically to white people meant can't get right. You can't get right. And the same thing to black people too. You can't get right, but you're an Uncle Tom. You're over there. Yeah. And I feel like coon, Uncle Tom, and stay woke is overrated.
Pretty much.
Not
overused.
Not coon, but stay woke is.
Okay. Okay. Well, last question before we get out of here. You talked about it a couple of seconds ago, but you didn't touch on it too much. You said that if it was about the fame, you would be in more movies. I think you're one of the most talented people out of that YouTube class that you were talking about. So why are you not on the TV screen, on the movies? Why are you not placid everywhere like the other people are?
Well, one, the game is all about selection. That's number one. I think people don't understand. They think that just because they grew up watching Eddie Murphy or Jamie Foxx or anybody who was in one movie, they end up having a series of other movies in the works. And excuse me, not to say that I couldn't, not to say that I avoided all of them, but there are a lot of roles that I turned down. I had the role offered to me to play Little Richard in the James Brown movie.
Wow.
I'm not playing no Little Richard with lip liners, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not doing it.
I couldn't even see you being Little Richard, to be honest.
Exactly.
That's
so let's just get it. There are many roles that I had, and they weren't gay and all that. There were some roles like I said after my first movie. After my first movie, I was the coke dealer. I was the drug dealer. And I told my agents after that, I said, look, I would take another movie, if it's cool, but I don't want my second movie to blow up and I'm a drug dealer again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they were like, all right, cool. So with that being said, it was hard for me to find a job because how they portray black people is black people can't get their shit together. Black people go to jail. Black people sell drugs. Black people pop pussy. Black people listen to hip hop. They can't support each other. And you know what I'm saying? That's just, if you notice, that's just what it is. If it ain't that, then they're going to put us in a slave movie. Or they're going to put us in the biggest movie that's going to make us look like a damn coon. They're going to have us selling our ass, you know what I'm saying, making us look retarded and goofy.
Yeah.
And it's very hard for a person, especially a black man, you know what I'm saying, especially a black man like myself, who stands for something, who supports his people. So therefore, in a sense, I'm kind of difficult to work with, in a sense, but I still get the opportunities. I've auditioned for Ballers with The Rock. I've auditioned for Star Wars 3 times. I went to London and auditioned right in front of J.J. Abrams. I've auditioned for Ride Along. I've auditioned for Draft Day. I've auditioned for the new hit show that Childish Gambino was on, ATL.
Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I've done it all, bro. I've been through all the worst auditions. I've been through all the best auditions. I've been called back 3-4 times. It happens, you know what I'm saying? And I've auditioned this year. The thing is, it's ran by a certain group. And those certain groups of people, it's ran by the dominant society. And if whatever they say goes. So it's all about relationships. Everybody know everybody. Everybody cousins in Hollywood. All the white people, ran by Jewish people, they're all cousins. and they all have a religion that they practice. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that religion may be white supremacy. Sometimes that religion may be Judaism. You see?
Yeah.
But they still keep it within the Jewish parameters.
Yeah.
So therefore, let me tell you something. Let me explain to you something right quick, and I'm about to really get deep with this.
All right.
I had two managers at the time. I had one for at the time. One named Steve Rifkin, and another one named Brian Robbins. Brian Robbins was the controller of all the Nickelodeon shows, the Teen Nicks, like the Keenan and Kel, the All That,
Yeah.
the everything, the Nick Cannon show. He was the guy for that. Steve Rifkin ran the hip hop side. He put on Big Pun, he put on Akon, he put on Mobb Deep, he put on Melanie Fiona, Asher Raw. The list can go on. They have black kids. They have black women in their lives, but they have black children. These are white Jewish men, but they still have Jewish practices. One thing I know about white Jewish practices is that they have to stick to a certain code, and no matter what, if they break that code, then you're going to lose the money. You're going to lose money, and people within your community, they're going to disown you. So in order for you to keep a certain type of power, you have to still practice what's in that parameter. So this is how I started to understand how it all worked. You know what I'm saying? And this, that, and the third. So it's all about relationships. It's all about, it's all about relationships. It's all about, who knows who. And if you rub the wrong person the wrong way, even if it's one person, if it's the right wrong person, it's a wrap for your ass.
Have you rubbed anybody the wrong way yet?
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be who I am if I wasn't rubbing people the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, if I didn't try to do it in a very disrespectful manner. Maybe it was because I wasn't making them money. You know what I'm saying? Because I came into the game myself. So also, too, I have a certain special position in Hollywood, too, as well. Not a special Negro position, but I had a special position because I was one of the first people to ever go to an agency and tell them what I was going to do. Usually,
they tell
you got to knock on their door.
Yeah.
And then they tell you what you going to do. They tell you, you go to this audition tomorrow, you go there, you do this, you go through this meeting because we said so. I had my own money. I got my own money, my own whatever. You can't make me do nothing. I moved my own stuff out here. I moved my girl out here, the dog, all that shit. Y'all can't tell me nothing. I am my own entrepreneur, and you know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. So this was the first time ever they were dealing with someone to a certain caliber where they couldn't really tell me what to do, but they couldn't cut me off either. They could have cut me off if they really wanted to, but they wanted to watch and see how it was going to unfold.
Yeah.
So because it was so new to everyone, this is why ADD was created. ADD All Deaf Digital, that was created off the back of my channel, off my head alone. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it all comes from, man. So because I wasn't playing ball with Hollywood like that, ADD was pushed further on a different agenda.
So basically, like, try to like take your channel out, try to like prosper like better than you.
Did they try to take my channel out?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It did kind of dilute my channel a little bit because there was a plan. Everything is strategic. They're not gonna. People in the dominant society aren't gonna call you over to the other side of the country to help them for nothing. They got a plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know look. One thing about white people, you know what I'm saying? They know exactly what they want from you before they even speak to you. Especially white folks. You know what I'm saying? They know what they want. You know what I'm saying? It's all about and most times white people, white supremacists, whatever you want to call them, and there is a difference between the two. And I say white supremacists and white people because they both respect blood and money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Respect ain't got nothing to do with like. And it did dilute my channel because ADD was created off my back, and they used me to give that channel all the juice to take me away from my channel.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I didn't have the time to go on auditions, when one script alone. Well, first of all, you gotta think about this. I'm in Hollywood. When you get scripts, you don't get a script 2 weeks in advance. Hell, you barely get a week. You get a script 2 day, and you have to study it 2 day, and you have to commit to it and go to the audition either tomorrow or the day after. So I don't imagine I have to drop everything I'm doing. I probably had a YouTube video I was planning out, and then I'm already in Hollywood, and then you got people tugging on me saying, "Hey, you need to do this movie. It's a good look."
Yeah.
And I'm taking time out my day, weeks, months, days, years out of my life to try to fit in a system that I never really knew about. You know what I'm saying? And you know, this isn't what I created for myself. So therefore, I'm uncomfortable, and my fans are looking at it like, all right, we see you do your thing on ADD. We see ADD running, but what about us?
Yeah.
And I did play a role in that. Don't get it twisted. I played a big role in it because you allow what you allow. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, yeah, my channel was diluted a lot because of the agenda what they had for me. And it wasn't because of time either. It was money that was put behind ADD that would flush down my video. It got to a point that I put out so many videos for ADD that when you search spoken reasons on Google, on YouTube, nothing but ADD videos popped up. So they were funding ads on their stuff to get my stuff out the way so they can collect all the money on the back end. So therefore I'm losing money on my main channel. And and what that does is, this is how I started to understand, oh man, I'm being controlled. Because when you take money out my pocket, then what does that do? You have to do what we say. You have to do what we say.
Yeah.
Oh, you losing money? You losing money? Oh, you going broke? Oh, okay. Come to us. Like we told you to the first time.
Yeah.
So, you know, they knew up front they couldn't tell me what to do because I would have ran. Like I did. And I have ran. I'm not in LA right now. I'm in Florida. I've been going from LA to Florida for the past 5 years. And I've been moving every single year since I was 18. I've been moving damn near every year for real since I've been to LA. It was times when I've been in LA at the top of the year, from January to the fall, and I spend the rest of the fall and the winter, here in Florida. So I had to learn how to figure out the balance first. The first part was the balance. And then once I figured everything else out, then it was easy for me to make up my mind. And this is why I'm by myself right now. So I'm completely independent. Okay. And this is my 2.0. So when you hear people, when people hear me say 2.0, look, this is the second half of the new beginning. You know what I'm saying? Okay. The second half of the new beginning. I'm not saying that I'm going to do the same shit I did 5-6 years ago. I'm never going to drop at at that rate like I did before. But I am going to come with something, a lot better and a lot more conscious for the people. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a lot of things to give them, and I know there's a lot of things that they don't know because I haven't given them that. What people got to understand about me is a lot of people never really had the chance to understand me. They never really had the chance to understand who JB is. Yeah, they can try to understand who Spoken Reasons is, but understand that when y'all first watch my videos, I was dropping videos every Sunday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, twice a week. You never got a chance to figure out who I was. I was just talking about an issue. That's it. I never gave people my life as far as reality TV. I ran away from that. While everybody was out here doing reality TV shows and recording blogs on YouTube, I stayed quiet. You know what I'm saying? When I had my son, I stayed quiet. I didn't put him on YouTube. I put him on Instagram here and there. I never put my life out there. So we live in a generation now where people want to know who you are, and I'm slowly unfolding. May not get my life, but you're going to get a little bit more of me.
Okay. Well, we can go about 3 hours, so we gonna wrap it up. But I just want to leave it on a light comment, because we've been on a more serious tone the whole time. I done seen you a couple times on YouTube getting busy on the court, but I just want to let you know, if you was ever out in Jacksonville, I definitely gotta watch you in basketball real quick. You know what I'm saying, man? 'Cause, I mean, if you up for the challenge, I definitely, get you out here, man. I seen you try with Meta World Peace. Hey, man, I'm gonna have to get you out.
Beat him though.
Yeah, hey man, I ain't Meta World Peace, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, but my game has gotten a lot more solid.
Hey man, if we ever meet up, it's a basketball court near. You accepting the challenge right now? That's all I'm asking.
Hey man, I accept the challenge, man. Hey man, get ready to lose too, though.
Hey man,
lose.
hey man, I ain't even gonna talk with you, man. We gonna see what happens when we get on that coat, man. You know what I'm saying?
Talking, I like that.
Yeah, I don't like that talking,
like
man. Anything you want to say? Anything you want to say before we get out of here, though?
Hey man, faith, consistency, and hard work, man. You know, stick to your own guns. You know, pay attention to everybody around you, and you know, don't ever do it for approval. Whatever it is that you do, don't do it for approval. Don't walk into the game worrying about what people think about your direction and what you're doing. If you feel like that's meant for you, and you feel like you're doing it out of righteousness, then keep going, because not everybody's going to understand your story, bro. The whole point of alignment is you finding what works for you, you execute, and whoever comes along with you is going to be there. If they ain't going to be there, they ain't going to be there. Because if you walk in the path that you're supposed to walk, then the people who belong there are going to be there. So I think that's one of the hardest parts about doing anything. You know, it's the alignment part. Having the wrong people in our corner that may, you know, swerve our thought process, and then having the right people in our corner. So, you know, focus on alignment, man. You focus on alignment, everything else will fall in place.
Well, hey, y'all know what I say. I mean what I say. I mean what I say what I mean.